Yeah, well, she's got every reason to smile, but she's talked the talk. Now she has to walk the walk, because it is time for the women's singles final. She's been nestling behind the black curtains, but this is a huge moment and another big moment on this court for 20-year-old Eliz, who lives in Rickmansworth, though her parents are originally from Cyprus. 8th in week 1, she trains, as we've heard, at the Jet Academy. She turned professional at the age of 18. She was inspired by Victoria Azarenka, and of course she pulled off that magnificent comeback, saving those 6 match points in that never-to-be-forgotten semi-final against Beth Gray late last night. As for her opponent, well, 21-year-old Emily Appleton from Woking has been the undisputed queen of the UK Pro League so far this year. She lost just 1 set en route to becoming week number 1 winner. She's got a perfect record so far this week. Big serve, formidable forehand. She's coached by David Collins, and she is tipped for a very bright future. So clearly she is going to start as a red-hot favourite. Jenny is lurking just behind me. Before we chat with Jenny, though, we'll hear what Jenny had to say when she chatted a short time ago with Emily. There we go.
Emily, congratulations into the final once again, 2nd week of UK Pro League 2021. How pleased are you with your form so far this week?
Yeah, I really can't complain. Being in the final and not dropping a set is a good achievement. So I think I just tried to build on the momentum that I got from last week. And yeah, really happy to be in the final.
What do you think the key has been to your success so far in the last couple of weeks of playing?
I think I've just tried to reset after every match and take each one as it comes and try to put my game onto the court as much as possible and look for my strengths.
And you're playing a number of the players quite regularly. It's a round-robin format. I know that you take your preparation quite seriously. You go in with a couple of pages of notes. How important is it to prepare that way for each and every match?
Yeah, I think it's quite important. It's quite difficult to play the same people over and over again, so you have to try and reset and just take it as a new match each time. So yeah, I try to prepare as best as I can to go into each match.
But you're up against Eliz Maloney in the final. She is a tricky player indeed to play against. What are your thoughts on that encounter?
Yeah, I think it will be a really good match. She obviously fights so hard for every point, runs really well. So yeah, I'll just look to, again, try and put my strengths onto the court, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight.
And in your semi-final match, you had the chance to hit a tweener, but you bailed on that occasion.
Yeah, I did.
Will we see it in the final if an opportunity arises?
Potentially. I'll keep it in mind.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something to look forward to. Winning is a habit. It's a habit she's developed very nicely over the past few weeks, Jenny.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Emily has been in such impressive form both week 1 and week 2, and the fact that she hasn't dropped a set yet this week is quite remarkable. And her performance yesterday in her semi-final, it was just so dominant. She's serving so well, the big forehands coming in, and she's happy to move into the net as well. So in essence, all aspects of Emily's game right now are in full force.
Yeah, she said there that it's difficult to play against the same players week in, week out. Haven't noticed any difficulties for her in that regard here, it has to be said.
No, you're absolutely right. She has played every single match extremely well indeed, and she said that in terms of her preparation, she has about 2 pages of A4 for every single match. Sometimes she takes it out of her bag, sometimes she doesn't, but that's key. She's approaching each match individually. She's taking the time. She's not assuming that just because she is higher ranked or she has a good head-to-head against them, she's going to win. She's dead serious about every single match.
And what about her opponent just over your shoulder, who did produce that astonishing comeback? I think everybody had given up any hope of her staging the comeback against Beth Gray last night. The 6 match points, heavily behind in both the second set and the tiebreak. How did she turn it around?
Oh, it was quite incredible. And speaking to Jo Jury after her match yesterday, she said she's been working with her for about 6 years and she's had that fight since she was young. She just always has. And even afterwards, Eliz said, I said, how on earth is your body? She said, oh, I'm fine. I think it might be the adrenaline, but she seemed to be absolutely fine. She's fit as a fiddle. She's worked so hard on her fitness over lockdown as well, and that's paying dividends now. But clearly, that's got to be a message to Emily Appleton today, the fact that Eliz is going to stick around right to the bitter end, no matter what the scoreline is.
Yeah, obviously Emily's had the better of their previous encounters. The double-handed backhand of Eliz was mighty impressive last night, the way she fights for everything. Is there an area on that forehand side that Emily's certainly going to look to exploit today?
Well, it is maybe the weaker shot in Maloney's game, so that's certainly something that the power of Appleton will look to impact on. But having said that, Maloney, her fighting spirit and also her movement, she served well this week too. They are key for her, certainly in this final.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. Yeah, I think the one thing we've learnt from last night is that even if Emily Appleton is a set and 5-love up, we won't assume that the match is over. Jenny's heading up to the commentary box. That's where we find Gigi.
Thank you, Marcus. Looking forward to this encounter, a fifth meeting between Emily Appleton and Eliz Maloney, and we have the winner of Box A against the runner-up in Box A. As they talked about there, they did meet in the group stage, and Appleton would come through 6-2, 6-3 on this incredible run of 13 wins from 13 matches. Just the one set dropped, and that was in the semi-final. I mean, look at that for a record. That's the kind of record as a player you want to see if a graphic goes up 13-0. The best shot is the serve. It has been working really, really well for her. As you can see there, he is the British No.23, a world ranking. I know rankings are a bit strange to talk about at the moment because we are still in these strange times, of 697. She's the older of the two by just a year, with Eliz Maloney 20 years of age. And it's really been the turnaround from week 1, where she finished 8th, and now contesting to be the week 2 winner. Her world ranking is 1158. The best has been just
30 seconds
outside 1,000. But as I mentioned, she is young. Parents still live in Cyprus.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match will consist
hopefully
of
they're
two
watching
tie-break
on,
sets
as will
and a
Joe
10-point
Jury be, who was
tie-break
here
at
with
one
her
set off.
from Wednesday. She's got
Emily
Danielle
Appleton
Daly,
to the right
her
of the chair,
good
won the
friend,
toss
who
and
she
chose
said
to
she wants
receive.
to, when we can start travel again, travel a lot with Danielle Daly on the tour. And I imagine it's good to have some company, because it can be quite lonely out there with tennis players when the world is open once again on the road for most of the weeks of the year. End of warm-up. Warm-up had just been called. This is to decide your week 2 winner, and the winner will also take away 18 points and just over £4,000 in prize money. So there is an awful lot at stake. Don't forget, with the UK Pro League, it's 8 weeks of the group stages. You'll have the individual weeks winners, then the semi-finals and finals, and then finals week in November. That is what they're all aiming for. Players will come and go throughout the year as the world starts to open up, and there are tournaments they can get to, using the prize money that they are winning here to fund their travels and get themselves back out on the road. Looking forward to this one, looking forward to seeing the fight of this young lady in Eliz Maloney. Can she turn things around from their day 5 group encounter against the force that is and has been over the course of nearly 2 weeks of UK Pro League?
Eliz Maloney to serve.
It's interesting, Appleton saying that it's actually quite difficult to play the same players over and over. Have to reset, something she does very well, and take each match anew. As Eliz Maloney says, she's learned to trust herself and also take chances, something she'll need both of those in this encounter with Appleton. Yeah, beautifully taken early on the forehand side from just inside the baseline from Emily Appleton. Mentioned this is their 5th meeting, the meeting they had earlier this week. There were a couple at St George's Hill in the UK Pro Series last summer. They split those encounters. It's clinical. from Appleton, allowed to
15,
come
14.
inside the baseline, take the short ball, find the winner. And then before this year, there was the LTA British Tour in November, which Eliz Maloney won by 2-1. An early break point opportunity. And that's the start, aided by the net call that Emily Appleton, week 1 winner, was looking for, because she breaks the serve of Eliz Maloney to 15. So Emily Appleton is on the board. Jenny Drummond is in the commentary box. And this was always going to be a tough ask for Eliz Maloney, not just the turnaround from last night, but also the task that is facing Emily Appleton in this kind of form.
Oh, for sure. And it's a bit of a contrast in game styles as well, because Eliz Maloney has worked very hard with Jo Jury to become more of an aggressive player, but she at the moment is playing the queen of it, the queen of aggressive tennis, and Appleton's game is just so dominant off both wings and the serve too. It's hard to find an in against Appleton,
Emily
and
Appleton
no player has
serve.
managed to so far in UK Pro League.
First look at the Appleton serve on finals day.
Love 15.
Lovely touch from Maloney at the net.
Love 13.
She really is some athlete on the full stretch there. Good start in this game for Maloney, considering she was broken in the opening one. It's so easy for your confidence to go down right at the start of a big match, in particular if you're broken.
Can do so much damage with that
15,
wide serve
30.
from Appleton, opening up the court.
It's just really smooth ball striking from Appleton.
Thirty all. Thirty, 40.
Well. Characteristic forehand error from Appleton. That's the thing, when she's playing a good mover like Maloney, she knows it's got to be good, otherwise it's coming right back.
Immediate opportunity for Maloney to break back.
Game, Maloney.
2 double faults in that service game from Emily Appleton. And an immediate break back for Eliz Maloney.
I wonder if there are any nerves for Appleton, because the pressure is well and truly on her. She knows she's the woman to beat. She's expected to come up with a good performance. And this, of course, is a final, extra pressure. And when you're playing someone who's a fighter, mentally it's even tougher. You know that you've got to be on your game. You can't let up at any point.
Some good hustling from Maloney, but dangerous times when Appleton takes up that stance inside the baseline. Allowed to come forward, smash away.
Love 30.
It's a smart shot. Hitting the ball a little bit shorter. Maloney's quite happy to sit and hug the baseline. But if you're changing the movement, it can be really effective. It's easy. It's much easier to move laterally.
Love 14.
Topsy-turvy start to this final. Break points in the first 3 games, 2 breaks in the first 2, and now 3 more break points for Emily Appleton.
Fifteen, 14.
Maloney was so quick up to that ball. Appleton didn't do enough for the drop shot. It was a bit of a mini lob halfway up the service box and sitting up.
But there is the break.
Appleton.
Third time of asking in game number 3, and Emily Appleton regains the lead in this final, leading with the break by 2 games to 1. UK Pro League Week 2 final featuring Eliz Maloney in your picture and Week 1 champion Emily Appleton playing for a prize pot of over £4,000 and 18 points. could prove very important in the UK Pro League at the end of week 8, when the top 9 players will qualify for finals week in November, and there'll be 3 wild cards awarded. This will be a tournament where players come and go, and they'll go abroad and they come back.
Let.
It's important to make hay
Press
while
up.
the sun shines, which is certainly what Emily Appleton has been doing. Takes
15
such an
love.
aggressive stance on the court, Appleton.
She's so assertive too. And you know that the ball is coming back with so much interest. Not only the power, but the angle she's able to create there. She really does utilise all parts of the court.
Love.
The pressure of playing Appleton, you've got to get the balls so deep.
Love.
Such a good service action. This year she's hit a game of aces, did it last year as well. She actually hit 5 in a row this year. The world record is 10, just halfway there. Sam Querrey, who hit the world record. She said to me she's going to go for it.
Why not?
I know.
Game
Too good.
Appleton.
Too good for Appleton. A love hold.
Appleton leads
That's
3
the
games to
first
1.
hold of serve in this final. It's a consolidation, and it's a 3-1 Appleton lead.
Yeah, any forms of nerves that Appleton may have felt by getting broken early on have subsided quickly. He's in a commanding position here.
Were you telling me earlier that Eliz Maloney, she learned
15
French
love.
during lockdown?
She did. She taught herself French. So many of these players have had so much spare time. They've had to take up different things to fill their time. Marcus even told me he's teaching himself French.
Wonder how that's going. Maybe you could have a little conversation with Eliz afterwards in French.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what standard of French he had prior to the online classes.
Love. Game Maloney.
Well, from 3 breaks of serve, we've had back-to-back
Appleton leads
love
3 games to
holds,
2.
but Emily Appleton does hold on to that advantage in this final with the break and the 3-2 lead. It's a week 1 winner, Emily Appleton, serving with the lead. A support team, fan club known as Team Apples, their own Twitter and Instagram account supporting Emily Appleton. Joe Jory said in an interview with you, Jenny, they just, you know, it's new having all these cameras and having the interviews and the questions and the headsets when they win a set and all these kind of things.
It was really fascinating because chatting to Mark Whitehouse yesterday, he's never really done an interview before, so he was really nervous.
Suddenly we're asking for in-depth analysis after he's won the set.
Well, I said to him, don't worry, we're just talking about tennis. We're talking about what you know. But equally, as soon as a camera is shoved in your face and you've got a megaphone, you're not just sitting down having a chat with someone.
No, it's a very different feeling. But all great experience for them.
And for the players too, they're able to watch the matches back and listen to our commentary, agree or disagree with it, whatever they choose.
(15-13). All.
Some solid tennis from Appleton from love 30 down. So often she relies on that big serve, follows it up with a huge forehand as well.
14-13.
That's so key to her game. A couple of double faults when she was broken. Seemed to have shaken those off. Now point for 4-2 in the first set of the final. Still to come the men's final. Anton Matusevic and Mark Whitehouse, the two top ranked male players.
Deuce. Advantage Appleton. Deuce. Advantage Maloney. Deuce. Advantage Appleton.
It's good play from Appleton. Confident play when she's under pressure.
Appleton.
Really important for Emily Appleton to
4-2.
get the consolidation of that break, having to save a break point, just to keep a little bit of daylight between her and Eliz Maloney, because we know the fight that Maloney has, and she doesn't seem to be showing any side effects from that bruising battle with Beth Gray last night.
Yeah, and interestingly, neither player has. Beth Gray defeating Alice Gillen in straight sets, straightforward victory. She was up a couple of matches ago. Now Maloney's had a little bit longer to recover. That was an interesting point. Appleton knows that Maloney's going to be here, there and everywhere. The slice forehands coming out as well. I just get the feeling that Appleton isn't that settled in this match right now. Had to really fight hard for that previous service game. Has already been broken too.
Oof, excellent play. She's got a little bit of luck with the net, but there were some blistering forehands coming her way from Appleton.
Yeah, she dealt with the pace really well here, but Appleton choosing to pepper the slightly stronger wing of Maloney, and look at the strength as she hit that backhand on the outside leg.
Net cord luck now. But when we talk about Appleton not dropping a set this week, she hasn't dropped more than 4 games in a set this week. She's been really clean through these matches. net's getting heavily involved in this game.
I've said it all week. This net is devilish. Because on some nets, the net cards are quite fair. It doesn't affect the ball that much. On this court, they just stop dead.
We've had 3 net cords in Game 7, and it's 2-1 Appleton on net cords. An important point here now for Maloney. Oh, stunning from it. What defence from Eliz Maloney then to turn it into attack and get the winner and get the game point.
That is quite an incredible point because Appleton was well and truly in control. It was a great move forward too. Just couldn't quite close the net. Look at this movement. She uses the outside legs so well. And that's got to sting a little bit for Appleton.
Maloney.
Maybe that just stung a little bit more. It was a holder serve though from Maloney, and Appleton does still have the break in the final, leading by 4 games to 3.
Time. Love. All. 15-30.
A little bit of opening here for Maloney again on the Appleton serve. So a little opening for the 20-year-old. Finished 8th in week 1. She gets something. Already broken the Appleton serve. Error from Appleton opens the door once again for Eliz Maloney to try and get us back on serve.
Yeah, it's been an interesting opening set so far. Appleton had herself in a commanding position. But I just feel that in the previous game, when Appleton was in control of the point and Maloney hit that winning passing shot, that got in the mind of Appleton there, because her big shots weren't hitting through Maloney on that occasion.
Yeah, too good. Set up.
30-40.
Started off by the serve. She had to save a break point in her previous service game. Appleton, before that, there was a love hold, and before that, she was broken, and still another break point in this game to try and save.
Deuce.
First serve so key for Appleton when under pressure. She gets so many cheap points from it.
Advantage Appleton.
Appleton looking frustrated, I think, saying to herself, move up the court. She was moving, but she didn't close down the net. If that shot had gone over from Maloney, it was going to be a winner.
Deuce.
That's surprising from Appleton. She didn't look comfortable at the net at all there. Normally, she's so dominant there. She's finishing points off, whereas Maloney was dictating things there. Just get the sense that this match is at a very important point.
I certainly do.
Advantage Maloney.
Just crept it in. That's the third opportunity in this game for Maloney to get us back on serve. just keeps coming back. But Eliz Maloney, stretch as she might, put it up nicely for Appleton to smash away.
Appleton did the job on that occasion, but you've just got to wonder if it's getting in her head a little because so many balls are coming back. She would normally finish the point on that first overhead, but had to hit a second one there. And as the set progresses, you just never know what might happen under pressure.
Advantage Appleton.
Serve and volley.
Yeah. Serve did the job, brings up game point. She's not having it all her own way, Emily Appleton.
Yes.
Coach David Collins continues to make notes. No wonder she has 2 pages of A4 for every match.
He logs every single point.
It's thorough.
I asked him if he ever doodles. You know, on the page. I'm a terrible doodler. He doesn't.
No, it seems as though he writes and then the pen goes back at the top like that. That's it.
I also asked him if he's ever missed a point. What does he do?
Advantage
Make
Appleton.
it up.
Well, he says sometimes he forgets whether or not it's a first or second serve, but then he has to see whether the player's got the ball in their side, in their pocket, and then he can quickly mark it down.
That's quite stressful.
I know it sounds it.
Yeah, there goes the pen. Just saw it. Game point Appleton. Boy, we should be relieved to have come through that. And I think that yell said it all. It was a tough game. It could have been a turning point in this set. But as things stand, she holds for 5-3.
Yeah, the reaction certainly says a whole heap, and she looks directly at Dave Collins, who gives her the encouragement that she needs. She can breathe a small sigh of relief there, and she will certainly look to press the Maloney service game here.
Love 50.
Just over pressing there from Maloney.
Love 30.
Oh,
15.
it's excellent from Maloney after what was a lovely return of serve.
I thought to myself, great shot from Appleton. She's really been assertive in this service game, but lo and behold, ball came back even quicker, right past her.
As that ball
15, 14.
ends up in the net, the fist pump from Emily Appleton, as she has 2 set points on the Maloney serve.
Let. First serve. 30-14. Game and first set.
And that's the set
Appleton.
for week one winner Emily Appleton.
6-3.
I think he's going to write there. Good job. Set done. Set one. Emily Appleton takes it 6-3.
Break anyway, so you've got a few seconds.
Can you hear us, Emily? Awesome. I'll come to you in a second. Thank you. I'm very happy to say that we'll let her take a quick drink before we go courtside to have a chat with Emily Appleton. Emily, congratulations. The first set, 6-3, but it wasn't so straightforward. The breaker serve saving the 4 break points. How do you reflect on that 6-3 set?
Yeah, I think Eliz is playing really well. She's making me fight for every point. I think it's just about, for me, just trying to put my game onto the court as much as possible, because that's what's got me here so far.
How big was that hold at 4-3? There was a massive come on from you at the end of it as well.
Yeah, it was big. I think I obviously didn't want to be 4-all, and I think it's important just to keep holding my serve as long as I've got that break. So yeah, I think it was really important.
Emily, thank you and good luck with the rest of the match.
Thank you.
Talks a lot about putting her game on the court, showing herself in her tennis, and it feels like she's really using these matches, these weight of matches, to do just that.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, she's very smart in the way that she approaches each match, and it's so easy when you're on a winning streak to get a little bit complacent as well. But when I was asking her about her preparation yesterday, the fact that she is taking the time to write, 2 pages of notes for each and every match, to me it just shows her focus, and she said that's something that she's really worked hard on. And certainly she's enjoying the Pro League so far. She's enjoying the fact that she can get on the court and compete.
15 love.
She's looking to add another 18 points to the 18 she picked up by winning week one. Take home another paycheck of over £4,000, all going towards getting back on the road, travelling internationally when it's allowed. That's been something that's been so difficult for everybody, whether you're a tennis player or not, just to travel, to move around, to have that freedom that everybody is so used to.
Yeah, I mean, if she wins again today, prize purse is racking up for her £7,500 total, plus 1,000 for the appearance fee week one and week two. It's a lot of cash. Particularly during these difficult times where players aren't getting to travel.
travelling and they're getting to events where normally they get straight
30,
in, and then they're going into pre-qualifying where there are no points and there is no money and they're having to go through that process, they might play a whole heap of matches and not actually come away with anything.
And then when they come home, they have to quarantine if they can't get an exemption. So then they're stuck, unable to go and compete elsewhere.
40-15.
Confidence this will give some of these players like Emily Appleton to win this amount of matches when she goes back out on the road, to take that with her. Yeah, very quick up to that ball.
Game Appleton.
Appleton was
First
able to
game,
put it
second
away.
set.
Halter 15, first game, second set for the week 1 winner.
Well, Appleton's standard is very high indeed, has been the whole 2 weeks of UK Pro League so far. And interestingly, look at that first serve percentage for Appleton. Under 50%, and that is why she was struggling to hold her serve, and certainly Maloney was testing her. She was broken once in the opening set and faced another couple of break points too. But still, she came through the set despite that below average first serve percentage. It just shows how strong the rest of her game is, really, when one of her shots isn't quite firing. But how different it would have been if Maloney had broken at that game 4-3 in the 8th game.
Yeah, had those opportunities. Oh, the shifts in that point, but it was Appleton who was ultimately able to come out on top.
That last forehand from Appleton, my goodness, the amount of power she was able to generate there. Her footwork, just watching her move around the ball at the back of the court, is so good. She's so solid in terms of her base. Her balance is wonderful.
Let first serve.
Wow.
Love 30.
That was an absolute rocket on the backhand. Playing some high quality stuff. She's actually beaten the current Roland Garros champion, Iga Świątek, her career. 2-1.
I was going to say that's a story to tell the grandchildren, but it's only 21.
15, 30.
In time, that'll be a good story for the grandchildren.
Yeah, it was funny. She said she ended up playing her 3 times in 2017. Iga won 2 of them. Emily the other at a grade 1 ITF event in Italy.
Also faced Bianca Andreescu.
30 all.
Fantastic experience. Eliz Maloney says her inspiration is Victoria Azarenka. Another fighter.
Yeah, Vika certainly plays as if every point will be her last. But that kind of fighting spirit of Eliz Maloney will definitely still be in the forefront of Appleton's mind.
Game Maloney, ball change. 1 game all.
We saw what she did in the second set against Beth Gray when she was 1-5 down, and she was 1-5 down in the tie break, and she saved those 6 match points. Tremendous performance from Eliz Maloney. Got so far down in the scoreline that second set, just completely relaxed. I mean, how often do you see that?
Yeah, so often. There's no pressure. You might as well start swinging because you almost feel like the match has been and gone, and those balls started landing. And naturally your opponent then gets tight. You start to win a couple of breaks back and suddenly you're on serve. She did serve for that second set, but it did go to the tie break. It's just the ebbs and flows of a tennis match, particularly in the latter stages.
Some of those rallies, I mean, lost count. Wow.
Fifteen love.
Eliz Maloney, who trains at the Jet Academy, Junior Elite Tennis Academy. Talked about Joe Jury, who was here with her for a few days. Emily Appleton spent some time at St George's Hill. The UK Pro Series took place last summer.
Thirty love.
Yeah, the new balls. Enjoying the new balls, Emily Appleton.
It's a lovely
40
forehand
love.
winner. She was still quite deep in the court when she hit it. But you could see her movement forwards. Just guides that down the line.
Game Appleton.
Finishing things off with an ace. So
Appleton
early
leads
stages
2-1.
of set 2 of this final. Appleton is on serve, 2-1.
Time.
Finals day at the UK Pro League Week 2. And Emily Appleton just making her way to the back of the court now. Slinging the towel over the shoulder. Winner of Week 1 is a set away from being the winner of Week 2. But she's up against a fighter, tenacious player in Eliz Maloney, just 20 years of age. finished 8th in week 1,
Love 15.
did Maloney. Now she's playing for top spot. The runner-up will take away 15 points and £3,500.
Love 30.
That was
Love
a
40.
wrong decision from Eliz Maloney, just showing that she feels on the back foot a little bit right now.
She's called it long.
And there's the breakthrough that
Game
Appleton
Appleton.
was looking for in set
Appleton
2,
leads 3
breaking the
games to 1.
Maloney serve to love for a 3-1 lead.
Well, Maloney's level just dipped a little bit there. A couple of unforced errors, and you can't afford to do that against someone like Emily Appleton, because she just senses the moment, takes advantage. And now is in a pretty strong position, setting a break.
Yeah, she'll be looking to consolidate things here.
Let.
Her wins this week can be
First serve.
Kusa, Olivia Nichols, Anneli Olivelle, Freya Christie, Eliz Maloney, as we mentioned, on day 5, and Alice Gillen. She topped box A,
15
unsurprisingly,
love.
with Eliz Maloney coming through second. But what a good week it will have been for Maloney, whatever happens. Picking up
30 love.
5 wins.
Let. First serve. Thirty, 15. Thirty all.
That backhand passing shot down the line is just causing a little bit of trouble for Appleton. I'm surprised she wasn't there ready and waiting, because Maloney has had some success with that. What an opportunity now.
Converted one of her breakpoint opportunities in the first set, Maloney. Now she's got her first of set 2.
Deuce.
Not a lot she can do when Appleton's serving like that.
Advantage Maloney.
I think a bit of indecision there from Appleton.
And it's led to another breakpoint opportunity for her opponent to get us back on serve. Again, the serving coming to the rescue.
She likes that tee serve, particularly on the ad court. She gets quite a lot of movement on the ball as well, just pulls her opponent out of position.
Advantage Maloney.
Doesn't quite look like the same player on that shot. A loose backhand error from Appleton. Just gone off the ball ever so slightly in this game.
Oh, she turned her back.
Yes.
That was an ace. She said, no doubt in my mind. A little look from Maloney. It was, it is, and it's deuce, and the third break point in this game is saved.
Advantage Appleton.
I'm not surprised Maloney's having a bit of a chuckle. There's just nothing you can do when your opponent is serving that way. And when Appleton has hit a couple of loose balls to come up with those aces under pressure.
There we go, under pressure. 3 in a row, saves 3 break points and consolidates her lead. So it's Appleton 4-1 in set 2.
Time.
That was an important hold for Emily Appleton, having to save the 3 break points, but boy, does she perform under pressure. Those 3 aces to serve it out, get the consolidation and keep that daylight between her and her opponent. She is going for 14 wins from 14 UK Pro League matches. The woman in your picture is trying to stop her.
Up.
Oof.
Love 15.
Oh, that makes my eyes water, seeing Eliz Maloney do the splits.
I've seen so many players do the splits this week. Oof. Honestly, almost all of them can do it.
But at the age of 20, it's fine. You spring back up and you just carry on as normal. At my age, come and lift me off court.
I couldn't even get down that low.
I wouldn't get back up.
All.
Didn't strike that forehand perfectly, but she loves that little skip forehand down the line. Maloney here just needs to do her job of holding serve at the moment and making Appleton win this match. She knows if she just hangs on, she might get an opportunity here or there.
(40-15).
Yeah, she has had the opportunities. And you never know if there's a flicker of doubt in the mind of Appleton if she gets closer to the finish line. Maloney needs to stay in contention, which is exactly what she's done, holding to 15 and keeping it.
Appleton leads
just the
4
one break
games
of
to
serve.
2.
Appleton had a tough service game last time round. Had to come up with 3 big aces in order to dig herself out of a couple of breakpoint opportunities for Maloney. But it's interesting, both times that Appleton has been tested by Maloney in each set, once in the 8th game of the first and then Appleton's last previous service game, she's come up with the goods. It's how you deal with pressure, and that's something that Appleton has done well over the last couple of weeks whenever anyone's asked a question of her.
Speaks to a sports psychologist
15 love.
twice a week, Emily Appleton, and it's something that Eliz Maloney said that she worked on, the mental side of her game, together with learning French in 2020. It's such an important part of the game.
Oh. 30 love.
Excellent reactions from both players, but a stretch at the end from Appleton.
Yeah, this is top quality here. Appleton just like a wall. Look at the movement there. Really solid stuff. So in control.
Love. Game, Appleton.
That love hold puts
Appleton
Emily
leads 5
Appleton
games to
a
2.
game away from the win, 5-2. So Emily Appleton, the British number 23, 21 years of age, is a game away from 14 wins from 14 UK Pro League matches. Winner in week 1, a game away from being the winner in week 2, with just 1 set dropped to this point.
15 love. All.
Appleton going for the lines in this game.
Really taking a swing.
Thirty, 15. All. Let. First serve. Forty, 30. Deuce.
Just found yourself a little off balance on that backhand. That was credit to the depth from Appleton, plus the pace.
Advantage Maloney. Deuce.
Appleton wants to get this match wrapped up right here. Huge shot down the middle.
Advantage Maloney.
So easy to force it though. And just wish yourself over the finish line.
Deuce.
So Eliz Maloney will be adding to the 5 points she picked up in week 1. 15 for the winner, 18 for the winner.
Advantage Maloney.
All Maloney can do at this stage is hold her serve and then see how Emily Appleton's feeling as she'll be asked to serve for the match for the week 2 title. Clever play by Appleton.
Deuce.
Drawing her opponent in.
Yeah, she sensed very well in the middle of that point that Maloney was a couple of feet behind the baseline, kept her cool there on that passing shot too. Really smart play.
Let. First serve. Advantage Maloney.
Going for the big forehand once again. Maloney, typical Maloney fashion, hanging on here.
Keep the game alive. And the pressure on Maloney.
A nice change up with the slice there. Drawing a short ball from Maloney, but that is not an easy shot to hit. It's staying low. She got so much whip. Dip the ball back in.
Advantage Maloney.
Tee off on the forehand side. Another opportunity for Maloney to close this out and ask the question of her opponent.
Yes. Advantage Maloney. Deuce. Advantage Maloney.
So she will ask the question of Emily Appleton. That's all Eliz Maloney can do at this stage. The balls will now be on the racket of the 21-year-old to see if she can add the week 2 title to the week 1-1, as it were. And to have dropped just the 1 set in 14 matches, if she can close out this set. Quite incredible stuff from Emily Appleton. She's 4 points from the win.
$15 love.
Narrowly missed, but so did a couple in the previous game. And Maloney will take any point she can right now.
Under pressure now, Appleton. 2 points from the win. Just wanted confirmation from the chair that was just wide.
It was very close indeed. She could see out the corner of her eye Maloney running to that side. And sometimes that can just put you off a little bit when you're striking the ball. Just giving herself a bit of a pressure point here now, Appleton.
Let. First serve.
With that and the cry of come on, match point for Emily Appleton to take the week 2 title. Been a fantastic couple of weeks in the UK Pro League for this young lady. Now a point away from back-to-back titles. Can she add week 2 to week 1? She is 1 point away. And that's it. It is game, set and match to Emily Appleton. She is the Week 2 champion. She adds it to the Week 1 title. 14 matches, 14 wins, 1 set dropped. Incredible for the 21-year-old Emily Appleton, your Week 2 champion.
It's just another really solid performance from her once again, and what an achievement for her. She is such a good player, and when anyone troubles her ever so slightly in a game, she comes up with the goods. We saw that in this match, the 8th game, quite pivotal in the first set, but she is so cool under pressure, and no doubt her and coach Dave Collins delighted to once again get another victory. Quite remarkable, 14 out of 14.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, that's the match summary of the 3-3 victory against Maloney. Really the talking point for Maloney, had the opportunities, wasn't able to take them apart from that first break in the very first Appleton service game. But for Appleton, she's just been so consistent in all areas of her game, and even when she had the low first serve percentage in the first set, she was able to utilise other parts of her game.
Absolutely, she came to the net, the forehand was hitting big, she even chucked in the slice too, and it just shows that despite her big power game, she has variety in there as well. She even tried to serve volley at one point as well, so for her opponents it's tough. It's tough to find something to beat her at because she has so many good parts to her game. She's quick around the court. Her footwork is fantastic. She reads the game well. She's chucked in some drop shots too. So Emily Appleton with a lot to smile about this week.
Yeah, and brimming full of confidence. I mean, wow, 14 wins from 14 matches, whether it's Week 3 she comes back for, whether she's heading out on the road or going abroad. And now we see the smile that we've been waiting for. We needed to see that smile because this is a fantastic achievement. We're going to be getting her thoughts very shortly. Your Week 2 champion, Emily Appleton. What a week it's been. She is now courtside speaking with Marcus.
Yeah, no, that was a tough match, a battle. Eliz definitely made me work for that. We played earlier in the week as well, and that one wasn't easy either. So I knew I had a battle on my hands today, and very happy to get the win. I think just the way I've composed myself and just stayed consistent throughout. I haven't had many ups and downs, and I've stayed focused as well, which has been important. Yeah,
I'm glad you could hear me before I turned my microphone on properly there. I look at the records, 36 points from the 2 events, £8,500 in prize money. In terms of your schedule, how are you going to try and stay on top of this situation and perhaps do what you have to do around the world as well?
Yeah, it's tough. It's pretty stressful trying to work out what to do each week, but the opportunities that we're getting here are unbelievable for all of the players. Just to be able to get so many matches and to earn prize money as well is an amazing opportunity. And whilst we can't travel as much and the restrictions are much more tough, then this is just ideal for everyone.
Must ask you about your coach who's just behind you. I know that a couple of weeks ago when I said, are you going to celebrate? You said, we've got a long journey home, but were you able to do so then? What do you want to say to him, and how are you going to celebrate tonight?
Well, I don't know how I'm going to celebrate, but yeah, thank you very much, Coach. Yeah, he's been putting up with me for the last 3 months, really. But yeah, very grateful to have him here, and yeah, I think we make a good team.
And just in terms of your game, we know you've got the power, you've got the serve, but the commentators today were talking about the variety you show as well. So what aspects might you work on to try and become even more unbeatable over the next few months?
I think there's a lot of things I can work on. I'm never content with how I'm playing. I think there's always room for improvement. So yeah, I think go back to the drawing board next week and then see what else I can do better.
Well, you are the queen of Loughborough for the moment, at least. Many congratulations. Enjoy a bit of a party tonight on the way back home. So success for Emily. Jenny has hot-footed it from the commentary booth. It's an astonishing record. What has impressed you most about Emily's performances over the couple of weeks?
I think her focus, her demeanour, whenever she's been asked any form of question, for example, in that match, in the 8th game of the first set, a couple of break points down, she came up with 3 aces. And it's her ability to deal with the pressure, any form of pressure, so well. And I think the fact that, you know, she is the player to beat, but yet she comes back each match super focused and relaxed. Considering she's so relaxed off court, she's super chilled out, and then on the court she is one woman on a mission.
Yeah, and we've got to give some credit to Eliz as well, who produced that astonishing performance last night. And I have to say, even today, she refused to go away. You couldn't be sure of anything until the final point was won, could you?
Absolutely not, and that's exactly what Emily said when we chatted to her after the first set. She said, look, Lisa's playing really well here, and she has done, to be 8th overall in week 1, and then to come here to beat Freya Christie, the top-ranked player, and Beth Gray as well, 2nd top-ranked player, get to the final. And she's just 20 years old too, so a lot to be happy about if you're Eliz Maloney this week.
Yeah, and we're just looking at that big smile that's on Emily's face. I said at the start of the afternoon, Jenny, that winning is a habit. And you just wonder how beneficial these couple of weeks, and who knows, maybe the next couple of weeks might be to Emily in her overall development.
Absolutely. Firstly, in terms of her tennis, her confidence, she's getting used to winning, and that is great for her confidence. But equally, the prize money too, that's going to be able to fund her for a number of tournaments. Tennis is such an expensive sport, and we've seen, you know, week 1 winner Josh Paris, he's out competing elsewhere because he can actually afford to go and do that now from the prize money that he's won. So it's really important for all the players, certainly both to get the matches, 7 matches in 7 days once again, to build that confidence, to get the match practice, and also the prize money too.
Yeah, okay, Jenny, thank you. So Emily continues to rule the roost as far as the women are concerned. After the break, we'll see if Anton Matusevic can do the same thing in the men's singles final.